bullying stops now. Why does bullying stop now is because I have this pledge. This pledge that I go around everywhere. And I ask every young person to understand that I understand how you feel. I ask every young person to find the courage to stand up when you see hurt. Find the courage to stand up when you know that somebody is hurting. Find the courage. I ask every young person with this pledge. And that's why I walk around. That's why I came today to ask all of you to say this pledge with me. If it's not for you, then for the young man that was in the hospital. If it's not for you, then it's for your friend that's crying. If it's not for you, then it's for somebody. Say this pledge with me. We are all going to stand up and say this pledge. This pledge, it's called Bullying Stops Now Pledge. So please, every single one of you, take a stand.
Welcome to the Pearl Hale Show. We're excited. We have a dynamic guest with us. We're talking about none other than Jabari Hall. He's the founder of J Has Heart. He's an international empowerment speaker. He serves as the CEO of Think Big, Think Positive, and Dream Big. Elder, resident, vice president of Resident Elder Youth Engagement Corporation, and two New York City-based nonprofits geared towards educating and empowering youth in local communities. He facilitates effective leadership success and goal achieving seminars at staff development days, lunch and learns, retreat and conferences, and more. I want you to show some love on the Pearl Hale Show. Put your hands together for none other than J Has Heart founder, Jabari Hall.
Yes.
How
On top
are
of the
you
world.
today?
On
Great,
top of the world. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
great. We're going to talk about today the importance of finding your purpose. But first, we're going
Okay.
to learn a little bit more about you, Jabari. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. Um,
Great. I want you
much
to tell. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, please. It's okay.
I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Jabari Hall. Um, I am a servant in the kingdom, um, a son, a child of God. I am a husband and a father of two. Um, I started an organization called J Has Heart, stands for Jabari Has Heart, over 13 years ago. I sit on the board of a few um, nonprofits based out of New York. I am originally from Trinidad, born and raised there, and then raised in my teenage years.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be back with more. Okay.
Okay, you still with me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, but raised in Brooklyn, New York. I am um, a positive filled, positive spirit, and downright powerful human being. That's who
That's
I am.
great. That's great. And piggybacking off of that, what inspired you to start J Has Heart?
Uh, a number of years ago, I was serving as a leader of a software development, um, and doing really well because it was my passion at the time, and I was doing really well. But I felt like something came over me where I didn't feel filled.
Mm,
I started to ask. At the time, I wasn't even as spiritual as I am now. I started to ask this question to the spirit above, to the Lord above, and say, what is my purpose? Like, why am I here? And in my Brooklyn way, I'm like, yo, bro, like, why you got me here? Like, what's going on right now? Like, tell me. And it took about 9 months of everyday prayer, asking, like, why am I here? Like, I'm happy with the money that I make. I'm happy with the life I'm living, but like, why am I here? Because something I'm feeling is it's not filling me up. And it was one day I got off the call from a project we were working on, and I just asked, like again, why am I here? Like, I'm not enjoying this. And the Holy Spirit spoke to me in that moment and said, you are here to empower the youth. Empower the youth. And in that moment, I felt chills come up my body, and I'm like, who is that? And I looked around, like, I'm the only one in the house right now. Like, who is that? And I walked around like, somebody in here is a problem. You already know. Somebody's listening right now. If you hear a voice in your house, you like, it's a problem. That moment, I felt as though I knew that was the Lord speaking to me. I knew the advocate was speaking to me. And in that moment, I stopped IT completely. Like, the projects I was working on, I put 2 weeks in. I'm like, hey guys, I can't work on this anymore. New direction. And I started J Has Heart with no reference in terms of programming and what I would do with it, but I just knew that God spoke to my heart, so that everything that I'm gonna do from here on out is gonna come from that same place, and hence J Has Heart was born.
That's interesting. Tell our audience a little bit about what you walked away from, what kind of work he was doing.
Yes. So I went to school for computer science. I transitioned from a software engineer to a web developer, and I was a senior web developer, working for and with multiple organizations. One of my biggest clients and organization I worked with was Viacom, and we were creating. We were doing application work, web application work, for the organization, and I was leading an effort in some mobile development at that time, when mobile development was just picking up.
Mhm. Well, don't touch that dial.
I apologize for that.
No problem.
Yeah. I apologize for that.
Well, hold your point. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back with more. J Has Heart founder, Jabari Hall.
Yes.
If you create the type of faith that a man named Noah had when he was building that ark, if you create a level of faith like those 3 men that walked in the fire, if you create a level of faith that when Jesus is walking through the land and blessing people, and if you create a level of faith like when the woman was down and all he wanted to do was touch his garment, if you create a level of faith, and in every environment that you're in a place like this, that you can go out and do God's will. You can go out and preach the gospel. You can go out and be that disciple that He has called you to be, if you create that level of faith. There's a quote I really like, and it says, you may say, I want success, and plan for failure. And the reality of this life is, you will get what you prepare for.
Want to super boost your immunity and feel super good all in minutes a day? Superfood fruits and vegetables are proven to support your immune system, help you stay healthy, and even live longer. And now you can double your daily servings of fruits and vegetables with Grown American Superfood, with over 30 super healthy organic fruits and vegetables packed into every Appalachia scoop.
Grown American Superfood found a quick and easy way for my family to get fruits and vegetables every day.
Just 1 scoop of Grown American Superfood makes any food or drink a delicious, quick, healthy superfood in just seconds. Call or go to grownamerican.com right now and try Grown American Superfood for 2 whole weeks free. You only pay shipping and processing. You'll also get these 2 amazing gifts absolutely free. Our 2 weeks to super easy tips and recipes guide, plus this convenient shaker cup. That's a total $50 value. So supercharge your immunity, energy, and life with Grown American Superfood. Call or click now.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I am so excited. We're here with Jabari Hall. You know, God is good. We're had some tech issues, but He's with us, and thank you so much for joining us. Jabari, you have so much passion for what you do.
Yeah.
Um, you've been a blessing in the past on my shows, and you have a lot of insight. Um,
Mm,
I want you to give us some insight on
mm.
the importance of finding your purpose.
Some insight on the importance of finding your purpose. I think that I know that it is critical for every single one of us to find our purpose. Not a passion, not something that we enjoy, but knowing and connecting to that thing that we believe we are created to execute on, to live in that space that we believe that we're supposed to live in, and own and dominate. I think it's critical. I know it's critical, um, because when you get to that place, you can see yourself operating differently. You can feel yourself operating differently, and there are parts of you that are released that you didn't know existed. And there are parts of you that become apparent to you that um, you thought you were the opposite of. So you may think that you are an introvert, and then
Mm,
your purpose causes you to show extrovert type tendencies. And you'll be surprised at yourself, like, I didn't know I had these abilities. I didn't know I actually like this. I didn't know I could do this. Yeah, it was already inside of you. You didn't know. But now that you tapped into that purpose, you could be released. So I think it's important. I keep saying I think. I know it is important for. I'm here. I'm
yes,
here.
it's okay.
Uh, I think I think it's important for us to tap into that. I know it's important for us to tap into that. So that's what I have right now. If we go into further detail about how to find that purpose, I can speak to that as well.
Sure. So, one of the things I find, and of course, my audience, thank you. We speak to anybody from 35 to 55.
Yeah,
If you're younger than that or older than that, you're welcome to come in. We're talking about the importance of finding your purpose with none other than international speaker Jabari Hall, Jay has
yeah,
heart founder.
yes,
It's interesting how it's very important in what you're saying. You can't meander through like you got to hit a moving target and run. You have to find out what it is. I want you to um, talk about your generation. The what are some inspiring moments where your program has touched the lives of students, and tell us a little bit about the work you do.
sure. Um, in finding my purpose, able to be released onto this earth to do what I was created to do, and to meet people that God already had intended for me to meet,
Mm,
that I didn't know that existed, that I didn't know needed um, a word, needed um, a presence, needed to be inspired and empowered in some way. And so I say that because there are some distinct events that occurred on my journey that allowed me to really know that I'm serving in my purpose. That I believe I am the person that was to be there at that moment, at that time. One of the one of the examples include there was a time um, that years ago there were some challenges in Dallas. Um, and I told myself I need to get down to Dallas, I need to get down to Dallas. Being a New York guy, I'm like, I get down to Dallas. And started to make a lot of calls into Dallas, to schools and organizations saying, hey, my name is Jabari Hall. Hey, my name is Jabari Hall. Hey, my name is Jabari Hall. I'd like to be there. And I'm like, who are you? I don't even know you. Like, in New York, what are you doing? What you doing calling us? But something in my spirit said, you need to be calling Dallas. And I finally got an opportunity to go to a school there and be paid to speak there and travel there, etc. And that school was in a part of Dallas that wasn't too impoverished, wasn't too subjected to the myriad of economic challenges that we see certainly every day in our communities. And at the same time, I was in communication with a school that did have um, quite a few challenges in terms of the graduation rate, in terms of the violence, in terms of the gang activity around the schools and things like that. And what happened was,
Don't touch that dial. We're going to be back with more. We're going to go.
Pastor, I'm
Okay.
here. What's happening is that I'm getting an alert. I'm on my phone. As I'm getting alerts,
Oh,
it
okay.
cuts out. It's so weird. So um, um, there's folks who are contacting me trying to get on to look at the show here, and they're messaging me as I'm getting these alerts. It's cutting out. So it's pretty weird. So um, okay. Anyway, I as I made a decision to go to the school that was a paid gig. The other school had contacted me and said, and I'm paraphrasing all these things, they contacted me and said, hey, we need you. But I'd already committed to that school, to the first school. But in that conversation with the second school, they revealed to me that they weren't going to pay me. And a lot of times in this business, you are going to go for the opportunity that is going to reward you financially. But something in that conversation said, I need to be able to uh, think about this a little bit more. So I contacted the other school and I contacted the school that's going to pay me. And I said, give me about a day or two. I'll get back to you. I know I committed to you. Just give me about a day or two. And for about 24 hours, I prayed. I mean, sort of like this intercessory type prayer. I'm just like, Lord, you like reveal to me what it is that you need me to do. I'm here for you. Like everything. I'm just praying about it. Friends about what to do, et cetera, et cetera. Go for the money, Jay. What you talking about? Go for the. And they're giving me these things where I'm just like, I still don't know what to do. Long story short, I ended up going with the school that was not a paid gig. I had
Mm.
already wrote the speech for the first school. I already booked the hotel around where that first school was. All these different things. I had to revert all of that and change things within these 24 hours to go to this other school. I go to this other school and I deliver a speech on the strength in finishing. That to whoever you are out there, you may not have started strong. You may have tripped, you may have fumbled, you may have messed up, you may have taken 10 steps back. But how do you finish strong? And I was talking to these high schoolers about that. And I talked to a room of 300 high schoolers. A student in the back came to me at the end of it. There's a challenging crowd. Students weren't listening too much because they just thought they had it all down. Everybody thought they knew what they had to do in life. A student from the back came to me. Mr. Hall, as I'm packing up, I was listening to you. And I was like, he's like, can I share something with you? I was like, say what's on your heart, son. He said, um, for a couple months now, I've been thinking to drop out of school. See, I live with my grandmother. My parents aren't around, and she has to take care of my two little sisters. And I was going to leave school because I needed to work so I could pay for the mortgage and take care of my family. But since you came and you talked about finishing strong, I feel like the Lord answered my prayer. I prayed to the Lord for an answer on what to do. And I felt like He brought you here for me to tell me to finish high school.
Wow.
In that moment, He didn't know what the dilemma that I had in choosing these schools. Somehow the Holy Spirit was speaking to me like, I'll reward you later on. You see what I can do for you. I can reward you, but I need you here. This is why I need you. Listen to me and go there. And because I listened and I hearkened to the Spirit, I went where one young person needed me. There was a room of 300 young people. One young person needed me, and I helped to change his life, to impact a generation of young people in his family, his grandma, his younger sisters, who will be his kids, etc., 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 whoever it may be, impact their lives. And I knew in that moment, it further fortified my belief in the work that I'm doing. That
You
was
know,
just one example of many examples of when I go to a place, I know I'm meant to be there.
that's such a blessing, that story that you told, because also you're a millennial.
Yeah, fit in that group.
Being in that, the new schoolers have different challenges.
Hmm.
And you not only empower that one person,
Hmm.
but also this new school generation, you also do a lot of work around um, violence in impoverished neighborhoods, and
Right.
particularly Chicago and different places. Tell us about your work in the Chicago area, and also, I know I give you a loaded question, but talk about that first, and then I'll bring you back with something else.
Okay. Um, Years ago, I'm sitting in my apartment in Brooklyn, and I'm watching news, and I was seeing a lot of gun violence there. I didn't have any connections in Chicago, and I, I was just looking at the violence there, and I'm like, man, I wish somebody would go out there and do something. In that moment, the Lord said, why not you? And I'm like, I
Wow.
don't know anybody out there. How can I go out there? I just booked a ticket, said I'm going out there. I remember walking the streets of like Ashland and about 79th and going into places, schools and community buildings, and saying who I am. Like, where you from? Where you from? Where are you? Where are you? And I attribute all of this work, now that I look back on it, to missionary work. I do a lot of missionary work because I go into spaces and places where my name isn't known, my work isn't known, but the Lord has already paved the way for me. So nonetheless, I'm there, and I start getting opportunities to work with young people in different parts of Chicago, East Side, West Side, South Side, and through that work, through that work and the time, I'm able to impact thousands of young people's lives through the work that I do. Whether it is through small group counseling with young men, helping them to learn this. Young man, you have a crown in your head. Young lady, you have a crown in your head. There are times where you don't believe that, or you don't see that that crown exists, but you were born in the kingdom. You were born to win, to do great things. It just depends on somebody in your life helping you to see that so that you can operate within your gift. And I'm able to work with them in those small groups that have programming about their rites of passage, about their ability to lead and mature before they even imagine themselves maturing. And I was able to impact lives that way. And then on the other side is on the SEL side, is helping young people to recognize that talking about your feelings is a good thing. Recognizing how you feel today, it's a good thing. Looking at another person and saying, hey, I got nothing against you. Your skin is white, I'm black. You're tall, I'm short. You're this, I'm that. We're different, okay, but I'm not going to hold that against you. You're a person just like me. You're a human being just like me. We both have differences. How do we now find commonalities underneath those differences that we see and kind of respect each other for that and respect those differences? And through SCL, I'm able to help young people mature in a way that they didn't see themselves before. And so much so that I'm heavy in Chicago. Like you go to
Tell us,
parts of the South Side, like, they know my name. You go to part of parts of the East Side, they know my name. You go to part of the West Side, they know my name for good things.
that's a great thing. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, you're going to tell us um, there's all kinds of violence in terms of young people going in schools and different places like that. We want you to talk about how the work that you're doing and also let them know about the shot clock in some of these really heavy
Yes.
areas that have violence. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back with more with J Has Heart founder, Jabari Hall.
God! The God that knows the end from the beginning, the God that is love, the God that has a reckless love, an overwhelming love, an infinite love, a never-ending and undeniable love. It kicks down walls and scales mountains and comes into valleys and brings sunshines when there's a storm. He lends a rope for you to climb up. That God. The God that said he'd be the fourth man in the fire and the fire will not burn you. The God that's on time, the God that's all powerful, the God that's all knowing, the God that's everlasting, the God of faith. The God of faith. Our El Shaddai, our Jehovah Jireh, God. That's how we get further and further. That's how we get further and further in our faith is through God. See, there's many men in the Bible we can talk about. Noah had an immense amount of faith.
You may want to attend college.
But you have a full-time job and kids that need your full-time attention.
How can you possibly attend college?
You learn online at South University.
Earn your degree while you still earn a paycheck.
Take care of your future while you take care of your children.
Earn your degree any hour, any day, from anywhere.
And the credit transfer policies also make it easier to return to college.
Earn your degree online from instructors who go way beyond the classroom to help their students change their lives.
And help their students change the lives of their children.
Learn online at South University.
Call 1-800-654-8019.
College is a road to your destination.
And every journey begins with a starting point.
Start from South University online.
The convenience of taking classes where you want,
The flexibility of taking classes when you want.
so you can become who you want.
South University online.
Call 1-800-654-8019. 1-800-654-8019.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Just before we went to break, we was talking about, for those who don't know, Jabari does a lot with communities that have a lot of violence, particularly in Chicago. There's something known as a shot clock. I want you to talk about that and how your organization and your program, social emotional learning, ties into helping to counteract that problem.
Yeah. Years ago, I was in, it's like near Morgan and 79th, like Southside and Inglewood. And I'm working with some young people out there, and I was talking to a young man. I said, "Hey, man, I want to give you an internship." And he said, "But you don't even know me like that." I'm like, "It's okay. I want to give you an opportunity, and you're gonna own it, right?" Sure. All right. Okay. I said, "Okay. Meet me at this place at this time, and we're gonna start some work." Mr. Hall, I can't get there. I'm like, "Wow, you're not at 2 feet? You have a bus pass? You need a ride? What is it? Because we can get there." Let's not talk can't. Let's talk can. Let's not talk impossible. Let's talk impossible. Yeah, you can pick me up, Mr. Hall. But I'll compare to the bus, but it's just crazy out there, Mr. Hall. I can't really leave my block like that, or I don't want to get into problems. People be getting shot around here, man. I just don't want to leave. And I told him, if you are going to live in that space of fear, what are you going to be able to accomplish in life? And that conversation caused me to look into more of the violence in that particular neighborhood. And it led me to learn about a shot clock. There's a website that tracks the shootings, the type of violence that occurs, the responses by the police, and the amount of people shot and killed in Chicago. And at that time, every 2 hours, the site reported that someone was being shot and killed. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't fathom it. Like, wow. And that ignited something within me to work even harder to help young people combat against gun violence. So I found locations that were doing gun violence rallies. I had gun violence initiatives. I was working with assemblywomen in the district to combat gun violence. I went to high school graduations and had these conversations at the graduations about gun violence. And did more and more work about gun violence. It even transitioned back into New York, and I was keynoting, if that's a word, a few gun violence galas, and really just honing in on how do we get young people to recognize that this route that you take, sure, the eyes cause you to believe that this is the route for you, but what does your mind say? But what does your heart say? What does your future say? Don't have the eyesight, create this mind sight. Don't rely on eyesight, rely on this mind sight. And from that, I was really able to work with young people, and I truly believe within my heart of hearts, I was able to decrease the possibility of young people picking up guns. I not even know in my heart, I know for sure because I was working with students who were formerly incarcerated and came out and had ankle bracelets while we were doing programming and say, Mr. Hall, I'm trying to do some credit card theft. Mr. Hall, now they're going to put me back in because I'm about to do something because this boy, I owe him for when I first went in. And I'm sitting and I'm working with these young men. I'm crying tears in front of them saying, young man, that is not the route you need to take. So I know I've impacted lives personally on the ground and through the work that we do just as an organization with the people that I employ.
Wow, that's interesting. That's great. We got to wrap up. I want to piggyback off something you said. It's interesting how sometimes, I know years ago when I used to help people get health insurance in some underprivileged neighborhoods, some of the gentlemen had a problem coming out. Now, I didn't realize it's because they didn't want to be subject to violence. I just thought it wasn't just because they just didn't want to get health insurance, but that's part of it. And so understanding that it was life transforming. Don't touch that dial. We have a couple of minutes. We'll be back with final thoughts from Jay Has Heart founder Jabari Hall. We'll be back.
Your best. So I'm asking you, I'm demanding from you, whatever it is in your life, give it your best. Not for me, not for a teacher, not for moms, not for you. Like, what you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Your best. Grind. Go all the way to graduation and be like, all right, that's one step. I'm up to the next. College, boom, I'm up to the next. Master's, boom, I'm up to the next. PhD, I'm up to the next. Anybody want to go to med school? Yeah, save my life, baby. Thank you. I want a doctor. Thank you. Your best. What does your best look like? And we haven't been able to answer that question. None of you, I would bet, can answer the question. Because we haven't asked ourselves that. We haven't given ourselves that opportunity to give our best.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We're so glad to have with us Jabari. You have the final words. We got to wrap it up in the next 2:30. Well, give us 1 minute if you can, of some encouragement to someone, letting them know the importance of finding their purpose.
Sure. In the good book, the Lord says that your gift will make room for you. And it's something that I didn't quite get when I first read it. A lot of us, when we first read the Bible and first read stories of the kingdom, we sometimes it doesn't resonate. But a lot of times it's because we aren't connected to the things that the Lord has for us. See, when you then get connected to it, the words off of the page reveal something different for you. I say that because had I not been operating in my gift, I wouldn't have traveled to Hong Kong to speak. Had I not been operating in my gift, I wouldn't have been in Trinidad speaking back to the young people that I grew up with, encouraging them to dream big. Had I not operated in my gift, I wouldn't have traveled to Ghana to speak at a TEDx conference or bring my resources to implement SEL in schools there. Had I not operated in my gift, I wouldn't be traveling to Antigua to bring a dream big day there and this March here. Had I not operated in my gift, I wouldn't be the being that I am today. What I'm saying to you is, you have to be able to get to a space where you are connected to the Creator. You may not be a believer, or maybe you are. Somehow, some way, I know that the source is the place for you to be. When you need to start a toy for your child, when you need to start up your laptop, when something you need that's electronic, that needs power, you go to the source. You go to the outlet to plug in so that object, that thing can get some power. See, sometimes you don't realize the power because you haven't tapped into the source. At some point, you need to say, who's the source? I know who the source is. I need to look above. I need to read the good book. I need to be able to tap into what the source has for me. And that source will reveal the power that you need to execute in the space that you were destined to execute in. You want to find purpose? You want to find purpose? It comes from the Lord. You may get it from other places in terms of it may be revealed to you, but the word comes from the Lord above. So in order to find where you need to be in life, take a step back, connect your outer self with your inner self, look for the man above and ask him, what is my purpose? And I undoubtedly know you'll get that answer in Jesus' name.
Wow, that's great. Glad to have you. We'll have you back at another time.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And my final thoughts is, forget about past failures, because whatever God has before you is greater and better than what you left behind. Thank you so much to Jabari Hall and Jay Has Heart. That's it for this episode of the Pearl Hale Show. Join us next week. We have Apostle Susan Berry coming to tell you how to know when to shift your assignment. Don't miss it. Next Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.
You may want to attend college.
But you have a full-time job and kids that need your full-time attention.
How can you possibly attend college?
You learn online at South University.
Earn your degree while you still earn a paycheck.
Take care of your future while you take care of your children.
Earn your degree any hour, any day, from anywhere.
And the credit transfer policies also make it easier to return to college.
Earn your degree online from instructors who go way beyond the classroom to help their students change their lives.
And help their students change the lives of their children.
Learn online at South University.
Call 1-800-654-8019.
College is a road to your destination.
And every journey begins with a starting point.
Start from South University online.
The convenience of taking classes where you want,
The flexibility of taking classes when you want.
so you can become who you want.
South University Online.
Call 1-800-654-8019, 1-800-654-8019.